Marvel superheroes, but their movies haven't been good recently. So I'm going to create my own cinematic universe with superheroes and villains using Lego. They just might be a little weird. Let's start by building the first ridiculous superhero. We're gonna give him green pants, a green torso, a green cape and ninja mask. Then we can add his face and crazy green hair. And we have completed our first dumb superhero called Captain Green. Can you guess what his favorite color is? It's pretty obvious, it's blue. Now we need a city for him to protect. Oh, that was pretty easy.
That was easy.
And now we have a Lego city. Now we need his backstory. Captain Green used to be a police officer. His real name is Ted. No, Bob. No, Dingleberry. How hard is it to pick a name? How about Josiah? His real name is Josiah. And one day, while he was eating some donuts, he got a call that something from the sky had fallen and hit the ground nearby. So he started on his way to investigate the mysterious item. Once he got to the thing, it was glowing bright green. He got closer to it until it released a giant shockwave. Josiah got hit by the shockwave and fell to the ground. Once he got up, his hair changed green. My least favorite color is green. He also figured out that he got flying powers. So he got a green costume and he became Captain Green, even though his favorite color is blue. And now he saves the city from any dangerous threats. One day, Batman was walking down the streets until he fell into a hole. The hole was filled with the dark, cursed Duplo that no one talks about. He was then consumed by Duplo, then became a cursed Duplo as well. I know, it's a little scuffed. He jumped out of the hole and started attacking everyone. Until Captain Green showed up out of nowhere. Captain Green dashed at Batman and knocked him out. But Duplo Batman got back up. Then Duplo Batman jumped at Captain Green and pulled him to the ground. And Duplo Batman started attacking Captain Green. Until Captain Green punched Batman and was let free.
You'll be destroyed, Captain Green. I will never be defeated.
Then a random person behind Batman threw water from his water bottle at him. And Duplo Batman fell to the floor. And then he turned back to his normal self. And then Batman and Captain Green became good friends. But while the battle was happening, a mysterious dark man was watching them. No one knows who he is. It's time we build our next weird superhero. I'm going to use red pants, a rubber ducky floaty, a white and red torso, a head, and 2 rubber duckies. And I have created Ducky Boy. He likes rubber duckies. He's also the same boy that saved Batman from the Duplo curse. I think it's time for another backstory. Ducky Boy's real name is Tyler. One day, Tyler was walking down the street like any other day, but he noticed there was a rubber ducky on top of a lamppost. So he jumped up to grab it. He named the ducky Frank. And then he went to go get more rubber duckies. He got a rubber ducky floaty and a green ducky. Now he calls himself Ducky Boy because he thinks he can talk to rubber duckies. One day, out of the river came this random man called the Crab King.
I be the Crab King, king of all the lobsters. I'm looking for my prize, Ducky.
The Crab King started asking everyone if they've seen his special ducky. Oh, I've never seen your rubber ducky before. Then the Crab King approached Ducky Boy, and he realized he had his special duck. And the Crab King wanted it back, but Ducky Boy did not want to give it back to him. So the Crab King lunged at Ducky Boy, and he started attacking him. Until Ducky Boy got back up and jumped onto the lamppost. Then the Crab King got back up, and he jumped after him. But Ducky Boy jumped on top of a house, and the Crab King jumped after him.
Run.
The Crab King chased Ducky Boy up a ladder onto the top of the police station.
You give me back my duck.
I will never give it back to you. And then they had a super realistic fight. And they kept fighting until the Crab King fell off the roof. And he fell all the way until he hit the ground. Right next to where a bunch of police officers were. And the Crab King was arrested, and Ducky Boy became a very interesting hero. It's time to build our next interesting superhero. I'm gonna give him these brown pants, this black and white torso, and finally his head and hair. And if you can't tell by now, it's Rick Astley. But we need to give him a super suit. Sorry, I'm just gonna take your head real quick and put it on a super suit. And now he's Super Astley. Where am I going with this? One day, Rick was going down the street to go pick up his food. He ordered a fresh hot dog, aka Glizzy. He picked it up and was on his way to go eat it. He sat on a bench and ate the entire thing. But he felt something super weird. He felt like he had super strength in a weird way. He tried punching a lamppost and it completely broke. So he got a super suit and became Super Astley. Now the strongest man in Lego City heard that Rick Astley got super strength. His name is Ronald McChad, and he wanted to fight him to prove who is the strongest man in Lego City. Speaking of Ronald McDonald, I have never liked him my entire life. So to prove that we're better than McDonald's, we're gonna try to pass him in subscribers. So please subscribe so we can prove that we're so much cooler than McDonald's. So Super Astley was walking until Ronald McChad approached him, and he said he wanted to fight him to prove who is the strongest man. But Rick didn't want to accept the challenge. But Ronald did not not like that answer, so he super punched him. And Rick Astley went flying and hit a lamppost. And Ronald McChad approached him. Then Rick got back up and dashed and punched Ronald. And they started having a little brawl. And they kept fighting and fighting until Rick got knocked out. And Ronald McChad was victorious. But Rick Astley got back up. And while Ronald was walking away victorious, Rick said to Ronald that he will never lose. And Ronald was shocked to see Rick standing. And then Super Astley super punched Ronald McChad out of this world. And that's what's gonna happen to Ronald McDonald when you subscribe to this channel. So the next funny superhero is a Chihuahua. And his name is Chewie. But he has a robot mech suit. And he's called Mecha Chewie. Now it's time for his backstory. Chewie used to be a stray dog. But one day, Captain Green was flying around and saw him. So he flew down and he adopted Chewie. And they became good friends. One day, Captain Green got Chewie a surprise. He built him a mech suit that he can use. And then he became Mecha Chewie. And now they could fly together. One day, the terrorist known as Dave the Deer showed up in Lego City. And he was ready to destroy everything. But Captain Green showed up and was ready to stop him. But Dave the Deer's cannon started up, and they started firing. And it knocked Captain Green out. And then Dave the Deer kept walking until Mecha Chewie showed up. And Dave the Deer started firing at Mecha Chewie, but it did nothing to him because of his armor. So Mecha Chewie started flying, but Dave the Deer's cannons locked on him. And it started firing at him, and it knocked Chewie out too. Then Dave the Deer approached Chewie. But Chewie's mech was all fixed, and he hopped back on. Then Dave the Deer started shooting Chewie, but it didn't affect him. Then Mecha Chewie blasted into Dave the Deer, destroying all of his weapons and armor. And Dave the Deer was defeated. And Mecha Chewie saved the city. And Dave the Deer ran away. And then Captain Green got back up, and Captain Green was super happy for Chewie. Then all the superheroes from all the stories joined up together to become the Super Minifigures. Now the villain that has been hiding and watching everyone from the very beginning has revealed himself. His name is TD the Destroyer. He is the minifigure from TD Bricks' videos, but he has gone rogue. He didn't like it when he got his head popped off or burned, so he was over it. And now he is ready to take over the world. But the only thing that stands in his way are the Super Minifigures.
You ridiculous minifigures have no chance of defeating me. I have already conquered Ohio. Okay, that was a terrible laugh.
Oh, we will defeat you.
Then let the challenge begin.
So Batman lunged at TD the Destroyer and started karate kicking him, but it did not affect TD the Destroyer. And TD punched Batman and he got knocked out. And then Ducky Boy ran at him and tried to punch him a couple times, but that didn't end up going well. Then Super Astley dashed and super punched TD the Destroyer, and he actually got pushed back a little bit, but it didn't work enough.
You really thought you could win, could you?
Then TD the Destroyer dashed at Rick and hit him, knocking him out. And now all that was left was Captain Green and Mecha Chewie, so they tried flying away. But TD the Destroyer also had flying powers, so he chased after him. So they thought they got away, but they didn't. So Mecha Chewie tried to fight TD the Destroyer, but it didn't work. I will defeat you if it's the last thing I do.
I told you, you don't have a chance of defeating me.
And Captain Green dashed at TD the Destroyer and started punching him, but it didn't work. TD defeated Captain Green. TD the Destroyer defeated all of the Super Minifigures.
And now, I will conquer the entire galaxy, because I am inevitable! Oh dear.
And now a man has fallen into a river in Lego City, but we're not gonna save him. And after Dave the Deer ran away, he came back to save Lego City. And Dave the Deer was the hero of Lego City, and he joined the Super Minifigures, even though he's not a minifigure. Go check out my boy TD Bricks. Thank you so much to him for helping me out with this video. And subscribe so we can pass McDonald's in subscribers, or Ronald McDonald will haunt you the rest of your life.